Hey, so I'm driving along and I'm thinking about fulfillment and how we go through life and sometimes we get this feeling like there's something that we want. There's more, but you don't know exactly what that more is. You just know that you're unfulfilled, right? And one of the things that I think we need to learn is that you can't find fulfillment until you decide and until you define what success looks like for you. And that word success, it's almost become a dirty word because it's associated more with finance and with gain and with property and with things than with substance and feeling and meaning in life. And when I talk about success, that's what I think it is. Success is being in a place in your life where you have peace, where you have joy. It's not about money. There are very successful people, in my opinion, who don't have a lot of money, but that they have joy, they have peace, they have authenticity. And those are things that can't be bought, and there are people that have lots of money and have no joy and have no peace and aren't being who they truly are. So defining what success means for you, what success looks like for you is paramount. So then how do you do that? How do you figure out what you want? What a lot of us do is we look at other people and we look at those people who we think are successful and we say, well, I want what she has. And I've seen that so many times, especially on those relationship reels on social media. And I see a woman will say, if he doesn't love me like this, then I don't want him. How do you know that you want to be loved by a man that way? Like how do you know? Because it's cute and because it gave you some butterflies or something? How do you know? If her man or a man like her man was to love you the way her man loves you, after 2 weeks you might be annoyed with him because you saw like one little glimpse of roses and wonderfulness. But we don't know what we want. A lot of us, we don't know what we want because we spend all the time scrolling, looking at everybody else's life and taking bits and pieces of everybody else's life and saying, well, I like this and 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 I like this, and I'm gonna slap it on a vision board and that's gonna be my life. 2023, new year, new me. I say 2023, new year, real me. What do I really want from my life? Who do I really want to be? What do I really want to have? I want authenticity in my life. I want to work with people who have authenticity, who are seeking authenticity. And authenticity does not always look like and sound like confidence. Authenticity can look like, I don't know. Authenticity can look like, I'm hurting. Authenticity can look like, this is scary. That's authenticity. We're spending a lot of time pretending to be something that we're not. We pretend to be strong. We pretend to be successful. We pretend to know what we're doing. There's a reel that's going out, and no shade to Rihanna. We actually went to the same high school, so I know she's a smart girl. But there's a reel where she says, I think it's a reporter, and the reporter says, what do you do on those days when you don't feel like you're all that? And she said, pretend. It's either that or cry yourself to sleep. But authenticity is crying yourself to sleep. And I'm not encouraging you to be depressed, but I'm encouraging you to face your feeling, face your fear, Face being afraid, face not knowing. Allow yourself to be brand new at something. Allow yourself to be a beginner, but be true. Be true to who you are and be true to what you want. But how do you do that? How are you true to someone that you don't know? We can be loyal and love the people in our lives because we have taken the time to know them. We've taken the time to get to know them. We know their favorite color. We know their favorite food. We know what they would like, what they wouldn't like. When you look at our husbands, our boyfriends, our children, we know them. But do we know ourselves? So if we don't know ourselves, we plan our whole life around what everybody else wants. And we have no idea what we want. We plan our whole life around creating something that looks like what somebody else has, but we don't know what we want to have. And when I realized this in my own life, this is a few years back, I was like, no, I felt like I was living someone else's life. And it wasn't a bad life. That's the thing. It wasn't a bad life. It just wasn't what I wanted. And I have really had to sit with myself and figure out what it is that I wanted. But the thing that scares us, and that scared me at the time, was how do I undo what I've already done? Because I've now created this life based on what was expected from me, based on what I thought I should do, based on the way I thought I should behave, but it wasn't 100% me. And also, how are the people in my life going to respond if I start showing up differently? But it was either continue the way I was living or make the change. And make a change that was going to fulfill me. Make the change that was going to be authentic to who I am. And I always believe that it's worth it to be your true self. Because if I'm going to be my true self, then that means that the people who I'm with, the people who share my life, my loved ones, my family, my close friends, they are now going to benefit from me being the real me. And the people who trust and love the person that you used to be only because of who that person was for them and what that person did for them, the people who are not interested in me learning and finding and being my true self, they are not my people. And depending on who those people are, that can be a hard pill to swallow. But would you rather be liked or would you rather be real? That's the question we need to ask. So when it comes to, this January, everyone's saying new year, new me. New year, real me. Real me. I want to be the real me. I want to be the realest version of myself that I can possibly be. Does this mean that sometimes you don't just suck it up and keep it moving when you're feeling doubtful or when you're feeling afraid or you're not really sure? You need to step out on faith. God knows what he was doing when he made you. Right? We like to quote Jeremiah 29:11. I know the thoughts and plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. God don't make no junk. He knows what he's doing. There's a plan for your life. And it's not based on somebody else's blueprint. I want every person that I come into contact with, whether or not it's on social media, whether or not it's in my church, on the street, in the supermarket, I don't care where. I want every person I meet to meet the real version of me, the real me. Because showing up as anyone else is exhausting. It is so exhausting to pretend. You have to get up every day and just put this thing on that's not you. There is no way. There is no way. Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like there's so much pressure. And I know I talk about vision, I talk about dreams, and I talk about goals, and I talk about planning. And all of that is great. But if you are not looking at your dreams and your goals and planning your life from a place of authenticity, from a place of truth to who you are and who God created you to be, if you feel that you are out of alignment with who God created you to be and you want to get back in alignment with that, then go on, change. But don't change for people to like you. Don't change to be accepted. Don't change to be loved. Don't change to look a certain way to a certain group of people. Be you. Be you and be okay with being you. And once you're okay with being you, improve you. Because yes, God made us amazing, but He also made us with the capability to grow. You might have heard me talk about the A-list assignment before. And the first part of the A-list assignment is appreciate your attributes. What does that mean? It means appreciate who you are. Appreciate how you look, appreciate your personality, appreciate your quirks, appreciate your likes and your dislikes. Appreciate who you are as a person. Stop and take a minute. Even your physical features, appreciate those. Appreciate. Really love on yourself. Appreciate you. And then appreciate you. Appreciate now meaning not cherish yourself, not love on yourself. We've done that. But now what are we going to do to improve? Right? Now what are we going to do to show up better? So when we talk about appreciation, like in financial terms, it means to increase in value, right? So it's like you have a bank account. If that bank account appreciates, there's now more in the account, right? So in the initial, I gotta move this car up. I'm in the pickup line to pick my daughter up from school. Initially, we're going to appreciate what you have. So when you do that, it's like counting how much money you have in the bank, right? So, all right, I got $10. This is the sum total of who you are. You have $10. You're a $10 person, right? What can you do now to appreciate your value? What can you do now to increase that $10? Make that $10 more. When you make that $10 more, it's still money. It hasn't stopped being money, but now it's more money. So appreciating your attributes in the second sense is increasing who you are, amplifying who you are, being all that you can be. That's when you can go after the dreams and go after the goals and do all the wonderful things that you want to do. But until you sit with yourself and just even know who you are, that's not going to happen. And so many of us find ourselves spinning around in circles year after year, and we're making the same goals year after year and nothing is happening. What are those goals based on? Right? Who told you that you need to have these things? Who told you that you need to be this way? So I just wanted to share that today. I want to encourage you. Yes, this is a new year, but be the real you, not new year, new you. You don't need to not reinvent. You don't need to invent anything. You may need to reinvent, but you don't need to invent a personality. You don't need to invent a person. God already created you a certain way. You need to get in touch with who that person is. And once you do that, then he can recognize you and he can bless you. But you're running around trying to be somebody else. How is that going to work? So if you want more on this, there is a free preview inside the vision sequence, and it is the A-list assignment. So that stuff I was talking about with appreciating your attributes, if you are a journaler like I am, there are a whole bunch of journal prompts in there, a whole bunch of questions. You can really sit with yourself and ask yourself those questions and work through that. That's a free preview. All you have to do is sign up. Click free preview. There's a button when you click the link in my bio for the vision sequence, and you can go ahead, you do the whole A-list assignment. There is no charge attached to the A-list assignment. All right, I want to give that to you because I feel like a lot of people are struggling, and a lot of people are trying to just be and do all these big things, but you have to sit with yourself. You have to sit with yourself first, because if you try to do something this big, what happens is you feel this big when you're trying to do something this big. But when you get true to you, you know what you're capable of. You know what you're capable of today, and you know what you'll be capable of in the future, because you understand, you know what? I appreciate who I am today, and I know that I am going to appreciate in the future. And therefore, that thing that seems so far off, it's not completely out of reach, because I'm going to grow into it. And you can give yourself the grace that you need to give yourself to grow. So I am praying that you have an amazing year. I'm going to stop talking now because I've been talking for 17 plus minutes, and I turned my AC off so it wouldn't be too hot in here, and I'm starting to sweat. So I'm going to go because I'm 47 and I need AC. I love you guys. Goodbye.